Hello. All right, welcome. This week we are talking about ceremony for pregnancy and birth and on into the postnatal period as well. This is a big part of preconception, pregnancy and motherhood for me. I haven't got it as an entire part of the course because it really just varies in terms of people's personal choice. And I generally offer this as a one-to-one offering because you really need to tune into the person's personality, their likes and dislikes, and how far someone wants to take it, or how it can be super simple. Like, I really have the motto that every day is worthy of ceremony. And that literally is it. If it's something so simple as just lighting a candle or incense or something like that is a ceremony. You're honoring the day. And so that's just everyday ceremony. But when you're entering into the stage of preconception, pregnancy, labor and birth, and then on into motherhood, there are so many gorgeous little types of ceremonies and rituals that you can do. And what I wanted to do is just talk about a little bit of them so that it just kind of like piques your interest if you've never heard of them before. There's no like definitive date or anything that you have to do any of them on. So I thought I would just like give an overview of all of them. And if there are any that are of particular interest, get in touch with me, Danielle at 12thspace.com by email, or through the EPB, Empowered Pregnancy and Birth Project platform, and we'll be able to organize something a little bit more detailed for you. And then after, I'm just going to go through the different types of ceremony briefly, and then afterwards, as today is the full moon, I want to offer a little full moon blessing. And I'll be kind of gearing this towards mothers in the end stage, so the third trimester stage, because the full moon is often a significant marking of the time of birth. It's when the full moon is that abundant, full stage where everything is overflowing. There's a wonderful gratitude, and it's the mark of the pregnant mother. So that's what our meditation will be today, is a blessing for the mothers giving birth. All right, so just to start, let's go all the way back to pre-pregnancy, okay? A lot of people actually do a lot of ceremony, ritual, prayer, healing, various different whether it's medical or alternative treatments in that preconception, pre-pregnancy stage, which is really beneficial. When your intention is already there, you're like, I'm calling in the soul of my future child, and then you're doing actions, whatever that is, treatments, meditations, healings, little rituals that are actualizing that intention. And so that is essentially what ceremony is. You've got an intention. I want to get pregnant. I want to call in my child. And then you do something that symbolically represents that. What I love about ceremony is that you can create lovely little altars. And like I said, it can be as simple as a candle. I love, as you know, from the Empowered Pregnancy and Birth course, I love using all of the elements. So earth, water, fire and air, and ether and space, because it is something tangible, and I know that each thing represents another aspect. So in my morning, when I'm doing my daily altar, my little daily ceremony, I have like a nanosecond to just kind of plug in to each of the attributes. To give yourself longer time in ceremony is also really important, obviously because you're developing a greater connection. But to understand that once you've done that a few times, the smaller moments can be just as beneficial, as long as you're still honoring the entire quality, that moment. It could be your moment having a little cup of tea, of cacao, something like that. And it's simply a moment, maybe 5 breaths. And that just totally tunes you into the energy. That's really what it needs throughout the day, little moments. Okay, so in the pre-pregnancy stage, you can do a fertility altar. So whatever that is for you, a fertility altar is something that represents calling in an abundance of fertility. A lot of people would use the women's figure, the shape of a goddess or the woman's body. You might even have a crystal egg or a pebble or a shell. So these are all things that either represent the womb, or the shell also representing the womb, that space within the woman. So there are things that you can have. And essentially what you're doing is you set an intention, like I'm calling in my child, and you have that even written down there and on your altar, and it's something that you can connect to each day. So it's really, really simple. But of course, if you want to go a little bit deeper with this, there are loads of little practices that we can tag onto it. Calling in the soul is a really wonderful ceremony. I've done it with quite a few clients before, one-to-one, when they're in that trying to conceive phase. And it's a wonderful time to energetically connect to the soul of your child. And the energy of your child can be around you for like up to 2 years, maybe even longer. Or it can be something that you're completely unaware of. So it's just sometimes nice to call in the energy of the child. And then even as your months go by and you're trying, you're still connected. You're just rebuilding that energy. The biggest thing that I would do during the stage of trying to conceive with the ceremonies that I would do, either personally or guided for others, is asking the soul, what is it that I need to learn in order to be the most wonderful vessel for you to come in? And so you're really opening yourself up to the life lessons, the energetic patterns that need to come up for you to clear and heal, and then self-accept, so that you can enter into that stage of holding another energy within you. Connecting to the silver cord of the child is also a really wonderful ceremony to do. Energetically, we're all connected to light, okay? Some people can clairvoyantly see this or get a sense for this, but it's the silver cord that connects to your child, so, to the energetic force of your child. And so anchoring that silver cord from your child into your womb is almost like the energetic umbilical cord. So it's a really wonderful ceremony to do. It's something I definitely do more as a private one-to-one healing. More than happy to chat with you more about it. But having the idea of it in your mind's eye as you dream at night, as you meditate, as you connect to your fertility altar, connecting to that silver cord is their energetic link. Okay, so you're honoring that link and you're embedding it into you. Then when we move on to the pregnancy stage, throughout pregnancy, well, for me, I did it all the time. Like I say, I do it kind of as a daily little practice. Essentially what I do is I have a little shell with a crystal egg in it. And the crystal egg represents the soul of the child. And so that crystal egg is the soul of the child, and they're constantly on my pregnancy altar. I move that egg and the shell around to the various different altars I have around my house, either the one that's in my living room, or if it's in this room where I do other meditations as well. And so essentially it's like, that is just, you're bringing energetically the soul of your child around to, they're more highly connected to this kind of energetic, meditative dream sphere plane. And so having something that's symbolically representing them, it just helps you feel like you're connecting to them. At least that's how I found it. And I find it quite reassuring then to kind of say, the energy that I'm taking on board, I'm clearing as much as I can for us both. They don't carry anything just yet, but you're clearing it from you and from your consciousness, because while you're pregnant, the stuff that you're shifting through is actually being passed on to them, as in whatever you heal, they don't have to carry any longer. So it's really important that when you're doing energetic healing work and clearing the fears, the anxieties, the various things that might come up through dream work or meditation, you're essentially clearing it and honoring, I'm clearing this for you. You do not have to come into this lifetime with this as baggage. Or you're also asking your child, what is it that we can clear now together energetically? Because you're asking for this force to be with you now in pregnancy. Because I'm just going to be really honest, once you have your baby, there is a good, at least a month to 3 months of a time where you're really dealing with the practicalities and the physical changes. And even though it's a very, very sacred time, the more work you do energetically in advance in pregnancy, the greater the ease it is then, and the habit you're in when it comes to having your baby there. So make the effort in pregnancy. You have the time. And it just means that it becomes kind of part of your daily practice then once you become a mom. But also it's not something that you have to overly think about. You've kind of done the energetic work. In pregnancy, then there's a lovely ceremony I highly recommend. It is called the 120-day ceremony, but that obviously varies depending on your knowledge of conception. But essentially what it is the soul grounding ceremony. It's the one I would highly recommend if you don't do regular ceremony or regular meditation. It's a really lovely blessing to do, even if it's just you and the father of the child. Or perhaps you want to have a little intimate family dinner and you call upon your parents or a very close friend, or maybe just a group of sisters, a group of girls, women that can honor you and the baby. So the 120-day ceremony is wonderful. I've done 2 variations, obviously, for both pregnancies that I've had. First one I did totally private. It was just all for me and Tyson. And I did a 40-day practice then following that. And again, the actual day of the 120th day since conception, I didn't know, but I did a rough calculation of when it was. So you're kind of talking around, you're into the 2nd trimester, the beginning of the 2nd trimester, which is kind of the time that you're starting to either tell people that you're pregnant or you're celebrating that you're pregnant and you're feeling so much stronger about yourself. Okay. And then with this 2nd pregnancy, I actually asked both my really close girlfriend and my husband to offer something. Again, I did it privately. That's just the type of person I am. I love my meditation space on my own. Plus it was locked down, so it wasn't like I was reaching out to people. But I had my friend write the most wonderful blessing. And it was really nice to have someone else give me something rather than just creating it all myself. So it is always nice to ask at least the father of the child to write even a short paragraph of their blessing, of what it is that they're hopeful for the child's life. And you get to then read that to your pregnancy altar and infuse that energy in both you and your unborn baby. And it's just a really lovely little ceremony. You might just tune in and start to really feel that energy is grounding in once you get past into that 2nd trimester and you start to really celebrate that full bloom of pregnancy. The 3rd trimester is a lovely time to do a Blessingway. It's kind of an alternative or more of a blessing version of a baby shower. So a lot of more modern times do a baby shower, which is obviously gifts and games and food and cake and all those lovely ways of celebrating, which is just as perfect, just as wonderful. With a Blessingway, then there are a few other little ritual things that you can do, like gathering a circle of women around you. You could do belly drawing and belly mapping of the baby. You're all doing something very similar to the soul grounding that you do at the 120-day, where you're offering your blessings for the child and honoring the mother. And it's basically really lifting up the mother, filling her with lots and lots of positive energy, holding her up. Perhaps you're, bringing food if it's very close to the birthday. you're bringing food, you're bringing things that are going to support the mother. Baby gets loads of stuff, right? And gets loads and loads and loads of attention, but the mother is often neglected. So sometimes it's to think of the Blessingway as something to really bless and honor the mother. And so that's the biggest part of that bit. And then the Labor Day, birthday ceremony, really it's up to you. And it's up to how labor and birth goes. If you have the time, this can be the most wonderful experience for you and baby alone. So say you wake up in the middle of the night and you can have, maybe you spare about half an hour to just part of your meditation. You know things have started. Tune in, connect, say your affirmations, light your candle, connect to the altar. Maybe it's a baby blanket that you have, and you're giving yourself a moment to just appreciate what's about to happen, this change that's about to happen. And the reason why I say at nighttime is often that's when the stirrings of things happen. And as I've said in the course before, this is not the time to start panicking and calling people if it's still really, really early stages. It's a time to stay nice and relaxed. Doing a little Labor Day ceremony is a really lovely way of doing it. And you'll find within the affirmations, the very end of all of the affirmations, you'll find the birthday or Labor Day, when labor starts, an affirmation there. And I highly recommend you read that in and around your due date, or in and around that time where you're starting to feel things change. And if you can, take a screenshot of it and have it on your phone, so that you have it for the day that you do go into labor. And even your partner, your birthing partner, the guardian of the birthplace, they can recite it to you as well, if you like it. So then we've got the birth. And this is, these are more the traditional ceremonies that have been done before. So welcoming the baby, welcoming the child. And these don't have to be done as soon as the baby arrives. Like, obviously you're already showering the child with all of your love and attention. So you don't need to make an additional thing, but in the back of your mind, even the very simple thing of lighting a candle at some time once you're home and once you feel comfortable, and just honoring the life, the physical life of your baby. It's no longer within you. There is a big part that goes hand in hand with this. The mother can often feel the grief of the emptiness of her womb. And I say this because it's very important to honor how that feels. The connection that you make to your baby when they're in your womb is so magical and so divine. And you just feel, most of the time, people feel really, really filled with this oxytocin and this huge amount of love. Obviously, this does continue when you get to hold your physical baby, but there are moments of grief for what your womb has lost, that internal connection. So just bear in mind that that's something that is really important to honor for the mother themselves, just to take a moment at their pregnancy altar, and then you call it your postnatal altar, where you are honoring what your body has gone through. And by taking the time to honor what your body has gone through, you're re-empowering your body going through that healing phase. So that's very, very important in entering into the postnatal stage. A naming ceremony or a welcoming ceremony, whether you do it just together, as in both of the parents, or if you gather maybe some close family and friends, is also a lovely little thing that you can do as well. There are loads of different ways of doing the welcoming ceremony, whether it's their first bath, which really you don't need to do for the first week or so, kind of wait until the umbilical cord, the little stub, kind of falls off. You would wait until that's fallen off before you need to do any sort of bathing and stuff like that. So generally about a week. And you can just have some lovely oils, like jojoba oil or lavender oil or something very, very light in the water, and maybe some petals or something like that. And it's just really a very, very simple way of blessing the baby and honoring their name and their physical manifestation. Also, as the months go by, I kind of recommend then for the mums, after their 40-day experience, so 40 days postnatally, this is a great time of transformation. 40 days is considered kind of like 6 weeks. It's considered a very potent, energetic time. If you think of like most whether you think of it as myth or history or legend or religion, whichever way you want to look at it, the 40-day transitional period, it holds a huge sacred value. It's the transition of Venus as she goes through her retrograde. If you know my astrology work, I talk a lot about Venus and her journey. So it's really the rebirth of that feminine energy and that heart consciousness. So that's very important for the new mum. Equally, Jesus spent 4 days out in the desert. There were 40 days out in the desert and returned enlightened. Same with the flooding, 40 days. These are big events that have happened in our mythological or cultural and religious history that align with transformation occurring. So at the end of your 40 days, mothers have to honor themselves and the transformation that has happened for them. It's huge, okay? So that there is information on that in the postnatal section, because I highly recommend that mothers take that opportunity to honor themselves and what they've gone through. It's huge. It's a monumental, life-changing experience. And this is where I'm most passionate about women feeling wonderful in that postnatal stage, because it's the most vulnerable and most transformative time. So really take the time to honor yourself. Okay, and by 40 days, 6 weeks, you've kind of got the hang of it. Though it will change week to week, but by then it should be good. Then you've also got the 90 days, the child's life celebration. Astrologically, the first 90 days of a child's life correlates with the first 90 years of a child's life. So whether you want to do every single day for those first 90 days is write a simple little journal of like, what was their energy or mood like, or what did anything particular happen on day 23, and you just write day 23 in a little journal of something. It doesn't have to be a long thing, but essentially what you're doing is you're marking the energy that they're going to carry with them as they go through the years. So day 10 is energetically year 10, and so on. And so it's a really nice way of kind of marking those first 90 days with baby, and understanding how tight, how close, the importance of your bond with them over those first 3 months. It can have a really big, energetic, significant difference on them. So yeah, that's, I was kind of like, you forget it some days, God, honestly, and don't feel bad about forgetting it. You've got enough to think about, but having in the back of your head a rough idea of each of those days can be really nice for that first few months of the postnatal stage. So there are a good overview of the multiple different types of ceremonies and altars and meditations and honoring rituals that you can do throughout your stages, your journey of motherhood. If there's anything that you want to connect with more, and obviously this is all specific to each person's personality, where they are in their pregnancy, I do recommend just reach out. I love talking. This is like one of my favorite topics to talk about. So I'm more than happy to send you resources and information, or we can set up a call and do a one-to-one session. All right. So enjoy doing your little ceremonies and altars and rituals. There's plenty of information scattered throughout the Empowered Pregnancy and Birth platform in the various different stages, whether it's with your yoga practice, whether it's for labor and birth or postnatal. So you've got a rough guideline already there for you. Okay, so let's get into our full moon blessing, okay? Take a little moment or two just to set aside all of the information that I've shared with you. It's always there on record so that you can watch and rewatch. So take a few moments just to park all of those thoughts, all of the things that you would like to do if your head is kind of dancing with ideas. And maybe take a drink, close your eyes, take 5 really big deep breaths. So as you take wonderful audible deep breaths, as I've been guiding you through, You've got your 3 little markers with your breath. So listen to the sound of your breath. Connect into the length of each breath. And the quality of your breathing. Feel your rib cage expand, your torso really lengthen as your body absorbs really good quality breath. So maybe you're counting your inhale and counting your exhale. You can do that also, but listen to the tone of the breath, the echo of your breath, and the spaces between the inhale and the exhale. And as we gather energetically, etherically, through this online space, it allows us to reach beyond the ordinary ways of physically connecting. We honor this heart-opening space that unites us as mothers at our various stages on our journey. Feeling the bond, the connection of mothers all around the world. All the different stages that they're at, all the wonderful shapes of their wonderful bellies, holding life. As we connect to the mothers that are holding and cradling their newborns. And we connect and honor the mothers that are calling in the souls of their future children. The calling of the mother is a strong one. And we honor the full moon today that represents that energy, that archetype. The full moon representing the full belly, blooming, abundant with life, with light, overflowing with generosity, the ability to give effortlessly from within themselves. And so on this full moon, we ask for the light of the moon to enter into our third eye, our brow, our heart, and our womb space. We call upon the energy of this wonderful full moon. May we be bathed in the waters of this full moon, overflowing from the cup, filling us with an abundant connection, our connection to society, our group, our tribe. And this may be mothers that you've never met before, but you hold such a tight bond because you're journeying on the same path at the same time. Call upon the strength of this bond to hold you always. And we call upon all of the mothers that have gone before us, our ancestors, our own mothers, grandmothers, their mothers, and our mothers' mothers' mothers. We call them all in and spiral around us, creating this tight knit of energy, of light that encircles you in your womb. So right now you are an abundant, glowing light force surrounded by the energy of all of the mothers that have gone before you. And right now in this moment, you are lit up just like that full moon. An abundant glow of light, radiating, overflowing with that instinctual wisdom, knowledge, that empathy, that understanding. the connection to the authentic self, the truth that lies within you, that flows around you, that circulates from your womb, from the waters of your own womb, all around you, this energetic link to the tribe of motherhood, holding you in this sacred moment. Calling forth the great mothers, the creator energy, any deities, goddesses, calling them forth to surround and hold this tribe of mothers. We call upon Artemis, the goddess of birth. She is the goddess of war as well. She is a great protector. She holds this space with a fierce force, giving you the courage and strength to radiate this abundant glow of motherhood. We call upon the loving energy of Lady Luna, the moon. As we honor the full moon today, we honor that beautiful glow that comes from Lady Luna. That soft radiance that you breathe in, bathing you and your baby. Calling upon Archangel Haniel, the wonderful archangel that cherishes the lunar energy and honors the sacred transition from maiden to mother. We call upon Danu, the wonderful Irish deity, the mother goddess, the mother energy. This incredible force of energy holds this space. And these four corners are held by these strong forces, these deities, these energies of women. Below is Mother Earth, Gaia, and above is the Creator, the Mother energy, the creatrix force, source of energy that birthed us all. And as you breathe into this space, this abundant glow, this tribe of motherhood, and you, your womb at the very center. Give gratitude, give thanks. And surrender into this wonderful space of radiance, of truth, of love, and of instinctual knowledge. Mother, you know all that you need to know. Your body is wise. You are an empowered woman, held by the tribes of all women, all mothers, all goddesses, deities, angels, held by the cosmic energies of the Creator. May this wonderful full moon blessing fill you with that glow, that radiance of motherhood. Carry it through your pregnancy, through your motherhood journey. Carry this wonderful radiance, this light this strength through your labor and your birth. And mothers, allow this light to flow abundantly from you, from your milk, from your body into your child, filling them with this radiance of love and light, protecting you both through the sacred transition into motherhood. Breathing deeply, the sound of your breath, the length of each breath, the quality of your breath. Spiral of energy that holds you now. Seal it into your body, to your womb, to your heart. As you bow your head, know from your third eye, your heart and your womb, that you are protected, you are held, you are loved, and you are empowered. Mothers, I see you. Thank you so much for connecting energetically. Thank you, thank you. Really feel your force. I hold you in my heart. Our babies connect and hold us as a tribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as we gaze to the full moon this evening, enjoy that light and remember that wonderful connection. You are connected to a strong tribe of motherhood. Full moon blessings.